Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1987's Throw Momma from the Train. Before we get started, if you want to follow me or Corey on Twitter, you can follow me at Junior D's. You can follow Corey at Corey_Idol.
Twitter! Owen! Owen!
And let's get into 1987's Throw Momma from the Train. This film stars Danny DeVito as Owen, Billy Crystal as Larry, Anne Ramsey as Momma, and Kim Greist as Beth.
So, who are these main characters? And I don't mean like in depth, who are they as people? I just mean, who the fuck made these two people main characters? Thank God it was cast with Billy Crystal and Danny DeVito. Because if you put any two lesser comedic actors in this film, you would just be like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah, and just throwing this out there, when I looked at the writer, director, like Danny DeVito directed this film, and I think
you can tell.
Yeah, and I think it was a benefit that Danny DeVito, I think, directed this film.
Yeah, he leaned into the darkness.
He really did. No, you absolutely had to. If you and dude, listen, I love dark comedies, and I haven't seen this in forever. Like, there was a lot of stuff that I forgot about this. This movie is like quotable lines. Just if you're into dark comedies, this is great. And like you said, the fact that they casted DeVito and Billy Crystal in these two roles, I don't know of other comedians at the time or comedic actors at the time that could have filled those roles and made this turn out to be basically a good movie.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
Billy Crystal's character in this is one of the most neurotic, annoying fucking human beings I have ever seen in my life. And normally in his movies, he's basically playing like an amped up version of Harry from When Harry Met Sally.
Yes.
Just ultra neurotic, has had his heart broken, et cetera, et cetera.
You were right.
In his other movies, it plays off a lot more because there are so many other buffers around him for that neuroses to bounce off. And, you can have some dry humor in there. You can have, a little bit of everything mixed in with that.
Yeah.
There wasn't that in this movie.
No, it's like him and Danny DeVito.
Him just going full neurotic mess to nobody. And it's just like, oh my God, like it gave me a fucking headache.
Well, and we see that like literally in the opening. So the movie opens with Larry. He's a novelist. He's beginning to write a new book, and he's suffering from writer's block. You have all the scenes of him just crumbling up paper and tossing it in the trash and not being able to get past literally the first sentence, the opening of his new book that he's wanting to write, that we later realize that he's been writing for 4 years, and he's still not past the opening line of the book. Corey's life lessons.
Hi, writers. Uncle Corey here. Don't ever start your book off with "the night was" or weather of any kind. It's just not necessary, and it's all going to sound like it was a dark and stormy night, which Snoopy has perfected. So, what are you doing? And you notice when he finally gets it at the end, there is no "the night was."
Yep.
It was just very, like, this is the story, and here's the story starting off.
Yep.
That's how it's supposed to start, kids.
You were right.
And this whole, so he's a teacher, right? He teaches this adult learning class for writers or aspiring writers.
Basically, I saw a glimpse of my future here because when Kiss the Reviews starts making that bank and you take all the money and leave me and go to some country where we can't extradite you, that's what I'm going to have to do, is teach like some adult creative writing class at a community college.
And I know the old adage, like, teachers teach because they can't do. But this takes it to a whole new level. Like, this motherfucker cannot write, but yet he's teaching writers how to write. But whatever.
Notice how, wait. Notice how he didn't even fucking deny that he was going to take all the money and move to a non-extradition country.
No. All my social media will get shut down. You guys won't even know where the hell I am.
You know what's sad is I'm probably going to be back here for Beverly Hills Cop recording. So fuck me, right?
So we also see him picking up his old-ass remote control for his TV, turning on the TV and seeing his ex-wife with Oprah discussing her best-selling book. And he here is yelling at the TV about her stealing his book and calling her a whore and a slut and a whatever because she basically stole his book.
Yeah, and this would be my advice to Margaret, because Margaret is on a very short-term plan. Now, I get it.
Yeah.
She's getting hers, and she's getting her money. However...
Corey's Life Lessons!
Hi, Margaret. Uncle Corey here. It would have been smarter to let him release the book, get all the fame from it and the money, and then divorce him so you get half. Because now you've cornered yourself into a position where you have to write another book, and you're not a writer.
There's always a follow-up.
Yeah, like they're not just signing you to one book deal after you've made a book so popular that it's now you're getting paid $1.5 million to option it for a movie.
Yes.
There's no way you're getting away with writing one book. You are definitely under contract for another one. Ergo, you have fucked yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's going to be very clear when Larry releases his book, because I don't know if you guys know this out there. Writers tend to accidentally have a style all their own. Your writing is your writing is your writing. So if I publish a book and it's like, wow, Corey's starting to write a lot like Stephen King, there's a good chance it's because I stole it from Stephen King. We don't write alike. You know what I'm saying?
We then from here hard cut to a verbally abusive Momma turning the TV off, screaming for Owen as he sits at his typewriter writing for his story class because he's in the class that Larry teaches. And as he gets her soda, he puts lye in her soda to kill her, but he knocks it out before she drinks it. So we're already opening into this dark, like, he hates his mother so bad that he's having daydreams about killing her. He's actually attempting to kill her and then can't actually go through with it.
You clumsy poop! What'd you do that for?
Original casting note, they were going to get Eminem to play this role. But he was tech unavail.
He was not born yet. Then cut to said writing class for adults where Larry's teaching. Owen, obviously in Larry's class, he gets upset that Larry doesn't read his story in class and chases him down at a laundromat to get an explanation. I'll say this about this scene. So this scene is great, and it really sets up that, Danny DeVito's character is just fucked in the head. And you could tell by his stalking. But my favorite line in this scene is when they're discussing the book and why the book isn't any good. Because it was 3 pages for a murder mystery. And Danny DeVito goes, yeah, a guy in a hat killed the other guy in the hat. I don't know why every time I've seen this movie, that line makes me piss my pants.
Oh, it's fantastic. It is literally every idea man that has ever approached me with the story. You know what you should write about? A guy in a hat killing a guy in another in a hat. Get the fuck out of here, man.
We then get more of Larry losing his mind, trying to write his new book, and then to Owen trying to write for his class, and Momma verbally abusing him some more. He then has more daydreams about killing her with a pair of scissors, which is also a great scene.
I did not remember how like violent some of these scenes were. And it's not like, oh my stars, I cannot handle this.
You're not pearl clutching?
Yeah, no, not quite. However, it was just like, yo, you just shoved a fucking pair of like sewing scissors through this woman's whole head. It was amazing.
Yep.
And I love this actress. She was a little bit annoying just because of the constantly.
Owen! Chap, chap, Owen, come on. Owen loves his mama.
However, that's exactly what she was supposed to be. I mean,
Yes.
this actress is a fucking legend.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's great in this.
She's
Goonies.
So
mean. I mean, the Goonies, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, everything that I've seen her in, listen, it's kind of like Mac's mom in Always Sunny. She's been in a bunch of different roles that I've seen. She didn't really change, like, a whole lot. They're like, we like that about you, so this is who you are.
Yeah, this is a person who was not born looking like Jane Mansfield and leaned all the way into it.
100%.
And made 100%. A fantastic career out of it.
Owen then continues to follow Larry to see if he would read his stories until finally Larry tells him why his stories are bad.
And we're glossing over how this comes about, too, because Billy Crystal is having the most awkward sexing moment with Beth in the train, and Danny DeVito was sitting behind them just eating popcorn like his name's Corey.
It's great. Like, I live for uncomfortable scenes like this in these movies. It's so great. And again, it's this very awkward scene on this kid's like choo-choo train, and she wants to like hump. And okay, here's don't do that.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Hi, everybody. We covered this in Ghost Story. Like, there's some things that, you want to experiment, in public, in a public setting. That's cool. And this is okay because, like, listen, it's nighttime. So it's not like kids are running around actively as you're trying to hump on this little train. But we know what's going to happen in there. You don't want kids sitting on dried cum the next day. Like, that's gross. Don't do that. That's just gross. And if you really want to stalk somebody, that's fine too, to get their thoughts on your writing. Also, don't stalk them while they're actively trying to have sex. That's not a good look. That's just gross.
Yeah, I'm actually going to tack onto that a little bit, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Thank you. All of that is so true, but all of that went over my head because I was so fixated on the two of them saying, "No, I want to make love to you." First off, neither of you were in love with each other. Let's start there.
Yes.
Second off, you're on a train. Nobody makes love on a train. You fuck.
Yeah.
Third, you're adults. Say fuck.
Please.
The two words "make love" make me want to vomit. That is so flowery Dick Van Dyke. I'm laying you down in a meadow of daisies on our white picnic blanket while the sun beats delicately on my back. Get the fuck out of here, Fabio. Yeah. We're fucking or we're not. There is I want to make love to you, but we're on the children's train and kids will sit here tomorrow. Fuck you, Jane Austen. Eat a dick.
Listen, you're not writing an R&B song. You're putting a P in the G and you're let's just go to town.
Yeah, you need to go.
And you're doing it in public. So let's be real about it.
When you're an adult, you need to be more Casey and JoJo and less Babyface.
Owen continues to stalk Larry. And then they have the conversation of, Alfred Hitchcock and watch the movies. And yes, I want to kill my ex-wife, but I don't actually want to do it. Owen talks about his mother. So Owen basically thinks that Larry wants him to kill his ex-wife and he'll kill Owen's mama. Crisscross.
Crisscross, crisscross, like in the movie.
Owen then stalks Larry's ex at her house, and he sees like the gardener or whatever and her fucking around on the couch, and he hides.
Why is everybody in this movie having sex like fucking mental patients? Come here, Chihuahua.
By the way, in the dog world, Chihuahuas are tiny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Not what you think it is. But then, he takes the whole Chihuahua thing way too far by continuously barking like a small dog whilst they're fucking. It is so weird. Like,
dude,
is
it really
anyone
is.
here an adult? Are you all on
Okay.
Molly? Like, what is
Okay,
happening?
I got two things for you.
Don't do that, it's not good for you.
Hi, grown-ups having sex out there. Okay? If you're partaking in these activities, two things. Because it comes up, I think, earlier and later in the movie with Billy Crystal and his girl, Beth, or whatever her name is. Mm-hmm. Where they're like, ooh, choo choo, and it's like a kids-themed sex time. Don't do that. Also, don't bark like a dog, and like, okay, I don't want to kink shame, but at the same time, like, dude, let's be fucking grown-ups about this. And
no, if you're gonna do it right. Wear a leash. Wear a fucking dog mask.
There you go. And here's another thing. Why is, and I get it, it was the 80s, but there were answering machines, okay? Why is everybody picking up the phone while they're fucking? I don't understand that whole thing. It's literally on the second ring. It's like, yeah, ring, hello? Who's this? How about don't answer the fucking phone?
Yeah, there is nobody that important that I'm fucking stopping the sexing to pick up an answer. Hey, Dad, how was your golf game today? Get the fuck out of here.
Owen then follows her to Hawaii and stalks her there on this boat that is going between the islands, and he sneaks up behind her to kill her, and we're led to believe that he pushes her into the water after she drops her earring and she's reaching for it. And then literally one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when Owen calls Larry to let him know it's done. I killed your ex-wife. And he keeps hopping from payphone to payphone. And it's such a great scene. And it's not even like the beach to across the street. He's like in a field of horses at one point. I love that scene when I first saw this movie. I love that scene to this day when I saw it again.
Oh, no, it's classic. The buffoonery involved in all of it. Like, if you really break it down,
yes.
It's so silly. It's stupid. It's fantastic.
No, absolutely. And it's fantastic, like, in all the right ways. Like, it's...
Oh, yeah, because, well, it's like he's taking these precautions, right? Because that's what you see in the movies. Like, call from the different phones. Back before cell phones were a thing, you called from the different phones, and that way they can't... They're not tracing you, Danny. They'd have his line taps. And you just murdered her. They don't even know it happened yet. Like, the whole breakdown of this thing and him just going through what he thinks he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
And the silliness of him just going, crisscross.
Crisscross, you know. Crisscross, like in the movie.
And they never brought this up, which I thought was a little bit unfortunate during one of Billy Crystal's major rants. But he tells him to go, like, watch an Alfred Hitchcock movie, right?
Yeah.
Alfred Hitchcock made tons of movies.
Yes.
Right? 50, 60, 70 fucking different movies. His TV show had multiple seasons of it, multiple episodes inside of that. He sees one and is like, oh, clearly that's what he wants me to do. Crisscross.
Yeah. He watches Strangers on a Train and is like, oh, yeah, no, absolutely. That's exactly what he wanted to do.
I didn't tell you. I watched Motive and Alibi, asshole. Watch Psycho or North by Northwest or The Birds, for God's sakes.
You were right.
Larry then, freaks out about this whole thing. So he's going all over the place, trying to set up his alibi. And then he picks up Owen from the bus station. And as they get into this heated argument about having Owen confess to the cops, the brakes cut out on the car and they lose control. And finally, they crash into this tree.
You're going to have to let me know in the comments what you think, because originally when I saw it, because they do the whole fast forward thing, and it's like silly comedy and cars speeding and chaos. And at first I was like, ugh, because it kind of like, it doesn't fit with what else is happening in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's totally, by itself in that one specific scene. But now I'm thinking it actually is almost more of an homage to Hitchcock's movies. And how he would shoot a car chase scene and how those car chase scenes were shot back then, because they're leaning so heavy on the Hitchcock here.
Yeah.
I mean, let me know in the comments, because I really don't know how to take this scene.
It could be, but when I watched it, I took it as more of a nod to Benny Hill, because it had a very Benny Hill feel to it, which doesn't fit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it'd be interesting to know if that's what they were doing.
Yeah, I'm curious, because you guys watch and know way more about these fucking movies than we do. Yeah.
No, so we just watch and comment. That's it.
Yeah, we're here to make dick and fart jokes, not do research, kids.
Hell yes.
They then go to Owen's house to have breakfast and hide out and regroup, and they discuss killing his mother.
The whole cousin Patty thing was fantastic. This is our cousin Patty. Yeah, I have a cousin Patty. You lied to me, crack.
Yeah.
Fucking hilarious, oddball, weird comedy.
Yeah.
That ends with like a horrifically violent crack to the head with a frying pan.
Yes.
Love all of it. But then we dip into like Danny
serious
DeVito's addled brain and his, like, you're laying on the ground like you're 10, looking at a coin collection that's like, this was from my dad. It's like, bitch, you're 50 years old. I hate to break it to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Dad left for milk and he ain't coming back.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
This is like so addled. And like you're stuck in this memory. And
it was
no wonder you can't function as an adult man.
Yeah. It was in a very dark comedy with some silly moments. This was like a 5-minute, it was just sad. Like
it was. And I wish they would have leaned into it and just kept Danny DeVito weird. I don't need a reason why he's weird. It's more fun just that he's weird. It's like the Joker. You know what I mean? There is no backstory for the Joker because it's better that he just exists.
Yes.
That's Danny DeVito's role in here, is to just be this weird, creepy fucking dude who we don't know why.
Yeah.
But this gives him a backstory where you're like, oh, poor little guy's just mixed up. He didn't mean to commit murder. Little guy.
And you're like, up until this point, you're like, oh, he's fucked up because obviously his mom is a horror show. So that's why he's like, so that's where you go. And this moment was just like, it brought a moment of levity that the movie didn't need.
It was just, it was really weird.
I don't want to think of serious shit. The movie then cuts between the cops interrogating Larry's girlfriend and students from his class to Larry and Owen going back and forth about killing Owen's mother, and Larry going out the window and trying to like sneak into his mom's room, and the series of scenes with Larry and Owen, who are both like, when Owen's on the boat, he just kind of lucks into Margaret leaning over the rail and like, oh, easy times, and you just push her and everything's good. Like, these are two inexperienced murderers that are having a fucking rough go at trying to murder someone who will literally die in probably 8 months, and does, spoiler alert, because she's old as hell. Like, you don't have to like be all whatever. She's sleeping. Go smother her with the pillow. And the sleeping scene with her sleeping with her eyes open.
Yes.
It's fucking hilarious.
No, it's great. Her sleeping with her eyes open is great. And I'm with you, dude. You want to know how to kill this old lady? Stay at a Holiday Inn for a night. When
It'll happen on its own.
She'll be in the chair, dead.
You're right again.
You know what the easiest way to get away with murder is? Natural causes.
Let old people be old. That's how you get away with that. The cops then get to Owen's house because he leaves to go bowling so that Larry can kill his mother. And he brings them into the house. And when he realized that Momma is still alive, he almost gives Larry up to the cops here That is until his mother comes out and chases the cop out because her whole thing is, you're trying to send me away and they're here to take me away.
Right. And see, now this is where I have a problem with the coin scene. Because the coin scene is meant to be a scene where they're bonding, right? Like,
yes,
Larry's taking down some of his rough edges towards Owen. Owen's letting Larry inside, and it's clear like it's his only friend.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. Great. But now you turn around and it's like Owen is back to fucking psycho mode, where he's just fucking around with Larry hiding out in the closet, and it's like, I'm gonna let him in. Nah. I'm gonna let him in. Nah. That's not like a prank. Like, you're fucking with him on purpose because he didn't kill your mother.
Yes.
So again, what was the point of you guys bonding over the coins?
No, I agree with that. It I don't know. It makes me think that there was another scene or two in there that got cut for time or something.
Yeah, something had to have been in there, or they made them add this coin scene to soften Danny DeVito a little bit, because it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. But Owen then sets up a way to kill his mother by fucking with the door so that when she hangs up her deal, she'll go through the door, slide down the stairs. But that doesn't work because Larry tries to keep her from hanging it up. She does it anyway. It stays. And then we get like a very Home Alone kind of, Larry then taps on the door and he goes sliding down and they think he's dead.
And dude, his mom, when Owen gets home and is like, your friend is dead. Your friend's in the basement. He's dead.
Bury him in the backyard before it starts stinking.
Awesome.
Yes. Which made me laugh because she's got more stones than both of these two together. She's like, your friend's dead. Bury him in the back. She's
the funniest one in this movie.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hands down, she's fucking hilarious.
Larry regains consciousness, finally, and finds Owen trying to kill his mother by blowing a horn in her ear, but she wakes up and...
I had a dream Louis Armstrong was trying to kill me.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, every time she opened her mouth, I fell out, and it wasn't because of the voice or the way she looked or any of that shit. It was because she delivered her lines so well.
It was all of it combined. Like it was the voice, the look, the facial expressions, and just literally crushing the line that she was given.
Yep.
So the next morning, Owen's mom wakes up and she sees on TV on the news that Larry is a prime suspect in Margaret's disappearance. And she threatens to call the police. And Larry leaves to board a train for Mexico. And Owen and his mom follow. And they all ride the train together.
Just for some reason, they're on the train. And she's eyeballing him the whole time.
Yes.
Being Larry. She is just mean mugging Larry the whole time. And then, now is the one time in this movie where I actually side with Larry. Because this bitch has the balls to come up with the perfect word for this opening line in Larry's book. I would have killed him. The second he stood up, I was like, yep, kill that bitch.
I thought about you when this scene happened, and I was like, oh, this, like, Corey will totally agree with this. So she gives him the perfect opening that he's looking for his book, and he immediately is like, I'm going to kill her, chases her through the train, and then when she reaches the end of the train, she loses her balance, falls out, and then hilarity ensues as Larry tries to rescue her. Owen gets there to help Larry pull Momma to safety, and Momma praises Owen, but kicks Larry off the train. And Larry ends up in the hospital.
Yeah, so this is weird. I've been on a train before. I haven't been on a train where you just open a door and the train's gone. It looks like it got exploded.
Yeah.
What fucking train is this? I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
But Larry recuperates in the hospital, and he turns on the TV to see that Margaret is alive and well in this interview, and she tells the story that she fell overboard when trying to reach for her earring. She was rescued by a fisherman, and they're getting married, and she's also selling the rights to her story for $1.5 million. that night, Larry has nightmares about killing Margaret. He wakes up finally inspired to write, and he starts to write his book.
This is my main question here for Billy Crystal, right? Like, she left you. She took your book. It's big, blah, blah, blah. Okay, totally get that you're mad and all this stuff. But you're also dating Beth. You're trying to work on... You are so obsessed throughout this whole movie with, like, even at the end, you don't have a real resolution. You still despise Margaret with everything you have. And I don't understand that. Like, and look, we talked numerous times. We're both grudge holders. But at the same time, like, you've moved on. Like, if you're that obsessed with Margaret, you shouldn't be fucking or making love to Beth in any way. Because you're super upset. You know what I mean? Like, you're not paying attention to other women. You don't care about this class. You don't care about Owen. You're obsessed. And even now, he's still waking up and still having these nightmares and still just like, oh, I can't help myself. No, you can. You really can. You know how I know? Millions of people go through this every day and still end up being able to move on.
We then flash forward to 1 year later. Owen reunites with Larry at his apartment, saying that, his mother died a few months prior from natural causes. And Larry says he's just about to finish his book, Throw Momma from the Train, based on his experiences with Owen and his mother. Owen tells Larry that he recently sold a book about the same thing titled Momma and Owen's Friend Larry, which is going to be released in the next couple of weeks, which sends Larry into a fucking tizzy, and he starts to choke Danny DeVito until he actually produces the book and he realizes that it's a children's book.
Nobody cares. It's just, it's a children's book. Awesome. No, you were choking me. You were taking the breath out of my lungs, you fucking psycho.
Yes. Like, Billy Crystal's character needs to be fucking institutionalized because it's not just about Margaret. It's literally anything that goes wrong in his life. He went from like this, like, oh, I wish she was dead, to like, now I'm actively going to kill people. He progressively becomes more psychotic throughout the fucking movie.
Right.
To where he needs to be in a padded room at this point. Not writing books, just in a padded room so he doesn't hurt himself or others.
You were right.
Larry can't help but wear his feelings on his sleeve. His emotions just rest right here. That's not me, dude.
Yeah.
That's not how I roll. My shit stays way deep down. And that's why I have zero respect for Larry, because you can't quit talking about everything that's fucking bothering you. And you know what bothers Larry? Everything.
Literally everything.
God damn, it was exhausting. Just exhausting. I loved Danny DeVito in this movie.
Danny
Could
DeVito
not stand Billy Crystal.
Yeah, Danny DeVito's great in this movie. And the movie ends, sometime later. Larry's book's been published. Beth praises it as her and Larry and Owen are on this tropical beach relaxing, which is basically the end of Owen's book. It's the same type of image.
Yeah. Only problem with this is I didn't get the last line in Larry's book either.
Hate makes you impotent, love makes you crazy, somewhere in the middle you can survive. Yeah.
Actually, I find it a little confusing.
Yeah, nobody liked the last line in Larry's book. Owen hated it. Beth didn't like it. She was like, the book's great, except for this last line. And Danny DeVito says, yeah, I don't get it. I'm gonna take my flippers and I'm gonna go run in the water real quick.
Watch this, Beth. Have you ever seen a weeble snorkel?
Again, I love dark comedies. This movie's great. Danny DeVito and his mother make this movie for me. Like
100%.
Anne Ramsey, Danny DeVito make the movie. Billy Crystal adds some funniness. And if you're gonna get a comedic actor to play a character with this type of neurosis. Like Billy Crystal's your guy. He plays it to a T. The reason, and you kind of mentioned it a little earlier, the reason I didn't like his character in this versus, because it's basically the same character from When Harry Met Sally, there just wasn't, in When Harry Met Sally, he brought the comedy to it. It wasn't as, the characters, they're both dark. But in this one, there wasn't as much ha-ha funny darkness to it. You know what I mean? It was just, we're going to go full neuroses and like...
Well, yeah, like both characters are very depressed people.
Yeah.
Right? They're very dark, very depressed people. But this one, it's almost like, I'm high-strung and depressed. And it's just like, oh my God, dude.
It gets annoying. Yeah, it gets annoying.
Yeah.
It gets annoying. So yeah, but that's really the only thing that I didn't like about this. Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, all in all, beginning to end, I was good. It was paced well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, with Danny DeVito directing, it was shot well. A lot of the ridiculousness was captured well on camera.
Yes.
And was edited, like I thought, perfectly. But yeah, I mean, all in all, I love this movie. I just...
Yeah, no, this is one of the darker comedies we reviewed on here. And I really, I don't have a problem with it. There's a scene here or, an archetype there that is just kind of like, ugh. But by and large, there's no complaints. It's a good, super dark, pretty fucked up kind of movie.
It really is. It really is when you start diving into it.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? Crisscross, like in the movie.
Well, for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1987's Throw Momma from the Train.